Hello everyone, welcome to the fifth episode of podcast series with CA Pradip Modi. I'm your host Abhishek Saxena, and it's an honor to be joined by CA Pradip Modi sir, a practicing chartered accountant with over 36 years of experience in taxation, corporate law and financial advisory. In this episode, CA Pradip Modi sir will be simplifying wills, succession and legacy planning. So let's straight dive to the questions. Hello sir, my first question is creating a will a complicated process and is legal assistance necessary?
Not required that legal assistance, because ultimately it is a wish list of a person who is writing the will.
Okay.
And therefore you should have a clarity what you want to have it and what you want to give it.
Okay.
So therefore you should have a clarity that I have the assets A, B, C, D, movable assets, A, B, C, D, immovable assets.
Okay.
I have a intellectual properties, or I have a jewelries, or I have the other items like paintings or so many other things.
Yes.
So you need to have the clarity that what assets you have, what assets class you have, and who should be a beneficiary of it in your absence. So once it is there, you can write very plainly in your will, make a list of the items first, then make a list of the beneficiaries, and then match it, which asset should go to whom.
Okay.
And therefore once it has been mapped accordingly that this asset should go, like immovable properties X, Y, Z, it
Yes.
should go to so and so, and movable property go to ABC. It should be done like that. If it is mapped properly, there is no complications, no legal assistance is required to prepare the will.
Okay.
But to bring this clarity without any confusion, for example, somebody has come to me and saying that I am writing this will,
Yes.
I am putting executors, and these executors should follow the wishes of so and so, and he has to follow the instruction of so and so. So these create a complications because
yes.
he is not saying that it should go to whom. He is leaving behind that the executor should follow the instructions of somebody else.
Yeah.
So this create a problem. So
Yeah.
if you are not knowing, you write it like this,
Yes.
that he should. So it is not really will. It is a will, but it is created in favor of somebody else who will create an instructions. That instruction need to be followed by executor.
Okay.
And not necessarily that what you want to do it, he will do it.
Okay.
The executor may do, may not do, because it is ultimately as per his wish list, executor has to do it.
Absolutely.
So if you have not put this much clarity and you want to satisfy everyone saying that no, executor will also be like this, my other person should be family member, should not feel bad,
Yeah.
then this create a confusion, and therefore the legal assistance is required to simplify. If legal assistance is there, he will say that no sir, you put it very plainly,
Yeah.
who is your executor and what he has to do. So therefore it is important that to avoid the complications, the legal assistance is required. Otherwise, if you have clarity, there is no need that you should have a legal assistance.
Okay. So my next question is, what details should be collected before drafting a will?
Yeah, just I mentioned it in the previous question itself. Like you have the classification of the assets, like movable assets,
Yeah.
or immovable assets, jewelry or paintings or intellectual properties.
Yes.
All these are the list you have to prepare it before you write the will. Without collecting this information, some information be left out. For that matter, you should write somewhere in your will that if specifically the assets are not being covered,
Yes.
because see, will can be prepared at any point in time, at any age. It can be amended at any point in time,
Yeah.
or it can be changed at any point in time. You can make changes in the beneficiary. The last will prevail upon all other your previous wills. So once you are amending any will,
Yeah.
or you are changing any will, you should write that you have a reference of the earlier email, so there will not be any confusion. You write the date also, but putting all these assets together before you write a will, because there are all possibilities. Suppose you write a one will
Yeah.
in, say, let us say 2020, and there will be addition in the properties, or there may be a deletion in the property. You sold out certain properties. So therefore when you write a will in 2023, there will be a totally change in the assets. Now that assets, suppose you do not cover it, then there will be confusion. So therefore, each time when you are writing will or amending the will, there should be an exhaustive list before you write the will, that movable, immovable, and liquid kind of things. For example, cash, bank, deposits, all these are assets you have to write separately, and then you prepare it. It will be helpful to you.
Okay, so like it's important to write all the assets separately in a will.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Sir, moving forward to the next question. What is the typical cost of making a will? Is it considered expensive?
Not really expensive, because it's depending on the complexity of your wealth.
Okay.
So if you have a huge wealth, definitely you have to hire the legal services. It will be costly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, making a very plain will, it doesn't require much legal kind of complications. Very simple things you have to write in a piece of the paper. It can be registered, it can be unregistered. So it doesn't matter that it will cost to you, but ultimately the cost is very lesser in case of less complicated. But suppose you want to write a will.
Yeah.
For example, the writing a will of the Ratanji Tata,
Yes.
it has a lot of complications, because lot of assets are there, lot of investments are there, lot of wealth is there. So writing of a will of a wealthy person, definitely little more costly. Writing a will of a simple things or simplified way it is to be written, and not much having a wish to donate a number of persons to be covered in that, or beneficiaries to be covered in that. Very simple one, it is not costly.
Okay. Okay, sir. Then can a will be updated later if personal circumstances changes?
Yeah, definitely the will can be changed, and then making an amendment in a will is a technical word in legal parlance, which is called a codicil.
Okay.
And that amendment in a will is always been possible. Suppose you write yesterday, today you can change. Today's will you can change tomorrow. So depending on the circumstances, it can be changed.
It can be changed. Okay. Where should a will be stored, and is keeping it at home advisable?
Well, there is no specific requirement, but it should be in a safe place,
Okay.
with security and accessible to the executors.
Okay.
These are the three important. So safety, security, and access to the either you or your executor, it should be made available.
Okay.
Not necessary at your home or at your office. Normally the will is kept at the lawyer's office or a chartered accountant's office or legal advisor's office or their relatives, but it should be known. If it is well written, at least you inform to the executor that I have a written one will lying somewhere, so it can be accessed by him as and when required after your absence. So it is only important part is that there must be a secure, it must be in a safe custody, and it should be accessible. That is important.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for providing this information. Thanks for watching this episode. We'll come up with more information in the next episode. Thanks for watching.